Super God Gene. Chapter 76. Just by reading the descriptions, Han Sen was already feeling excited. Except for the ones that had high prerequisites and could only be practiced by those with Evolver or higher status, Han Sen wanted every Hyper-Geno art listed in there. Unfortunately, one license could only be used to purchase one Hyper-Geno art. Han Sen wanted to choose one that laid the foundation for better fitness for his sister. With such a Hyper-Geno art, Han Yan wouldn't be inferior to those posh school students. She would even be better than them, because even posh schools didn't offer such advanced Hyper-Geno arts to students. Finally, Han Sen carefully selected and bought a Hyper-Geno art named Holy Angel. According to its description, this Hyper-Geno art would help improve all types of genes and had been tested for a long time. Its practice was smooth and didn't involve much risk, so it's excellent for laying the foundation. Many who had practiced it had seen great effects. This Hyper-Geno art fulfilled all the requirements of Han Sen. It was easy to practice and had low risk. There were many who had practiced it too. So even if people noticed that his mother and sister were practicing Holy Angel, they wouldn't be surprised. Han Sen downloaded the tutorial of Holy Angel and checked it out. He was surprised to see that this S-class Hyper-Geno art was still not as good as his Jideskin. Who was that Shui Longyan? How come he had such an outstanding Hyper-Geno art? Han Sen felt glad that he didn't let anyone see Jideskin. Holy Angel and Jideskin were similar, so that there was no need for Han Sen to practice Holy Angel as well. If someone asked him which Hyper-Geno art he was practicing, he could just answer Holy Angel, which was another reason why he had bought it. It would be very hard for one to tell Jideskin from Holy Angel indeed. Han Sen put away the tutorial of Holy Angel and went to St. Paul to pick Han Yan up. He wanted her to come home to practice Holy Angel, so she would have to stop living on campus for a while. Han Yan's teacher was a 27-year-old woman in a professional suit. Under her knee-length skirt the flesh-colored stockings really showed off her long legs. She had her hair pulled back and was wearing a pair of wire-rimmed glasses. Although she looked demure and full of mature women's charm, Han Sen knew well that she was definitely already in Second God's Sanctuary, which was the minimum standard for teachers at St. Paul. You are Han Yan's brother. Ku Wanj slightly frowned at Han Sen. Yes, Ms. Ku, I want you to give Yan a few days off, Han Sen said. Ku Wanj was displeased and said with some disgust, where are your parents? Why haven't they come? They are very busy. I have come of age and can be considered one of Yan's guardians. You could tell me if you have something to say, Han Sen said. Ku Wanj said bluntly, what do your parents take education for? Do they think everything will simply work out if they spend the money and send their daughter to an expensive school? The school has started for quite a while now, yet your parents haven't been here or asked about her study once. Do they know what Han Yan needs? I'm so sorry, Ms. Ku. We have a lot going on in the family. It's our fault. Did anything happen to Yan? Han Sen asked worriedly. Shaking her head, Ku Wanj said with some bitterness, Han Yan is fine. She is a talented girl and would do so much better if she could use advanced nutrient solutions and care. Now, she's only using an ordinary nutrient solution package and does not have a physician assigned to her, which has affected her grades. Since your parents have sent her to St. Paul, are they going to allow this to happen just to save some money? The families that could afford tuition of St. Paul must have tens or hundreds of millions in their accounts. Ku Wanj didn't realize that Han Sen's family might be short of money. Han Sen knew what she was saying. Nutrient solutions couldn't improve one's genes like the meat of creatures in God's sanctuary did, but it could offer all the nutrients needed by the human body. In this sense, it could also improve one's fitness, though not as greatly as the meat would. The more advanced the nutrient solution was, the more benefits it could bring to one's study and body. Han Sen had used some when he was a kid, but as his family went down, he had to stop. A physician was someone responsible for conditioning a student's body. If there was any accident in the process of studying, the physician would timely condition the student's body and use scientific methods to keep the student always at his or her best. Both purchasing nutrient solutions and hiring a physician would cost a lot of money. The several million Han Sen gave to Luo Sulan were just enough to send Han Yan to St. Paul, so the nutrient solution package they bought for her was the cheapest type, which only cost 100,000 per month. Hence the result was not ideal. The physician and conditioning equipment Han Yan had been using were shared ones at school. Ms. Ku, you are right. We will buy Han Yan the premium nutrient solution package next month and please assign a good physician to her as well, Han Sen said. Fairly satisfied with Han Sen's reply, she nodded and said, that's more like it. Although it costs more, Yan is an outstanding girl, so it would be a waste if you don't cultivate her well. Now what she uses is worse than all her classmates, but she still has good grades, which goes to prove her talent. Ku Wanj paused and said, if possible, think of a way to buy her an advanced hyper-geno art. The one provided here is too basic, so the result might not be limited. Okay, Ms. Ku, I will think of a way. Han Sen now started to believe that Ku Wanj did think Han Yan was special. Encouraging Yan to practice advanced hyper-geno art wouldn't do the teacher any good, while she could probably earn a referral fee from recommending nutrient solutions and physicians. The most expensive nutrient solution package cost $1 million per month, a senior physician plus professional equipment would cost a few $100,000 per month. Han Sen had no money before, but now he could earn a lot. Of course he would want the best for his sister. Ku Wanj put away her things and rose to feet, let's go. Yan should be out of class soon. Let's pick her up and I'll give you a ride home. Han Sen said no need, but Ku Wanj clearly saw him as a teenager. Han Yan was ecstatic to see Han Sen, but she remembered to greet her teacher politely before she ran into her brother's arms. Holding Han Yan in his arms, Han Sen followed Ku Wanj out of the school. At the school gate, he saw two familiar persons waving at them. Super God Jin, Chapter 77. One of the familiar faces was Fang Jingqi. Han Sen had never seen him again since playing Red Hands with him and was surprised to see him here today. As for the other person, Han Sen felt like having seen him somewhere, but the guy was in a high-collar windbreaker, a hat and a pair of oversized sunglasses, which made it difficult for Han Sen to tell who he was. The man wearing sunglasses was waving at them, but Han Sen soon found out that the man was not waving at him, but at Ku Wanj. As soon as Han Sen and Ku Wanj were out of the school gate, Fang Jingqi and his friend came over. The man wearing sunglasses started to talk to Ku Wanger immediately. They seemed to know each other well. Fang Jingqi was reluctant to smile at Han Sen. Han Sen, I did not expect to meet you here. Who is this beautiful little girl? This is my sister Han Yan, I came to pick her up. I'll let you guys talk, Han Sen said. You did not come in an aircraft. Let me give you a ride, said Ku Wanj when she saw Han Sen leaving for Maglev station with Han Yan in his arms. The man in sunglasses said reluctantly, since you all know each other, let's go to dinner together. I will not bother you. I have some errands to do, so I'll go back first. Ms. Ku, we will just use the train, Han Sen said. No way, your parents are outrageous. Ku Wanj did not see Han Sen as an adult. Indeed, he was just about 17 and was young and comely, which made him look more like a teenager than a man. You and Yan can come with us to eat first, and I will give you a ride home after. As a teacher, Ku Wanj was an authority figure, not taking no for an answer. Han Sen, since Ms. Ku has put it this way, just join us for dinner. We are all friends, right? Fang Jingqi smiled and advised. It seemed that he suddenly had an idea. In fact, Han Sen was not going to refuse as Ku Wanj had already picked Yan up and walked toward her aircraft. The man in sunglasses seemed a bit unhappy, but he did not dare to show it in front of Ku. Han Sen and Han Yan were on Ku's aircraft, while the man in sunglasses was on Fang's aircraft. Just when he sat down, the man in sunglasses asked Fang Jingqi, Jingqi, who is that kid? Why did Wanj care about him so much? That kid is a boy toy liked by many women. Probably Wanj is into him as well, Fang Jingqi said with a straight face. Jingqi, Roka is basically your planet. You are just going to watch Wanj falling into his lap, said the man in sunglasses. Thinking about Han Sen's look, he agreed that he had nicer skin than many girls and believed what Fang Jingqi told him. In fact, Han Sen just had nice skin because he was practicing Jideskin. What can I do about it? They are both consensual adults, so I can't really beat the kid up for that. I am afraid that Wanj wouldn't let me either, Fang Jingqi shrugged and said. You are so weak, man. Just wait and see how I scare him off without really hurting him, the man in sunglasses curled his lip and said. He took his sunglasses off and it chanced that he was Tang Junliu, the 5th among the 10 chosen last year. Great, I'll see how you do it, Fang Jingqi said with suspicious sparkles in his eyes. He thought, brat, you've given me a lot of troubles these days. I'll let you suffer a bit to ease my anger. Han Sen is a formidable opponent and I'll see how you are scared off by him. Since Fang Jingqi suffered in Han Sen's hand last time, he had been afraid of Han Sen. This time, however, he could use Han Sen to make Tang Junliu suffer. Tang Junliu was quite something, but Fang Jingqi could still make correct predictions about him. However, he really lost his confidence when playing red hands with Han Sen. If Tang Junliu and Han Sen were in a fight, Fang Jingqi did not think that Han Sen would win. But if it was just games played at dinner table, Fang Jingqi believed Tang Junliu would be miserable. Fang Jingqi also wanted to see Tang Junliu completely defeated by Han Sen, so that Tang wouldn't brag about himself all day, as if everyone should worship him because he was the chosen. The place they were heading to was a club exclusive to the distinguished and aristocrats. Han Sen and Yan weren't qualified to enter, but since the rest of the party were all VIPs there, they could be the plus ones. Inside the private room, Tang Junliu took off his sunglasses and hat, smiled and reached out a hand to Han Sen. Haven't introduced myself. My name is Tang Junliu. Tang thought to himself while smiling, Tang Junliu, the star is here. You must be stunned by my name. It would be great if you and your sister happen to be my fans and ask for my signature. My name is Han Senator. Han Sen shook his hand and said, unimpressed. He did recognize Tang Junliu, but he wasn't really interested in stars. He was always busy making a living, and had no time to gather information about the stars. That was why he wasn't starstruck at all. Tang Junliu felt at loss. Even if Han Sen wasn't a fan, he should still have a bigger reaction than that. But he acted as if he had just seen a passerby. Is he an alien? He does not know me. Me, Tang Junliu. Tang wanted to grab Han Sen and tell the kid his name again. The only reason he wasn't doing it was Ku Wan, who was sitting at the table. Fang Jingqi almost laughed out loud. He naturally knew what Tang was thinking. Soon the waiter brought them a variety of food and drinks that looked expensive. Han Sen and Han Yan had never had any of these before. Since it was someone else's treat, Han Sen ate without manners and was putting nice food into Yan's plate from time to time. Yan did not engorge like her brother did, but also enjoyed the food quite a lot. Ku Wanj was displeased with Han Sen's rudeness, but liked Han Yan more and more. Fortunately, Han Yan was sent to St. Paul and made my student. Or such a good girl as her would be ruined by her family. Ku Wanj was secretly determined to teach Yan well and keep her away from her brother. Super God Jean, Chapter 78. Drinking without a drinking game is always a little boring. How about we play a little game? It only took a short while before Tang Junliu suggested a game. Drinking game, we have a kid here. Ku Wanj rolled her eyes at Tang. Tang winked at Fang Jingqi and the latter smiled and said, Wanj, no worries. Nothing over the line, we are kid-friendly here. Fang Jingqi turned to ask Tang, how about red hands? When Fang Jingqi said these words, Han Sen was slightly startled. He thought that Fang was trying to set him up, but in fact, it seemed that he was setting Tang Junliu up. Tang frowned. Red hands is too easy to play and not good for drinking. Let's play, pouring the wine. Pouring the wine, suggested by Tang Junliu, was a game where two players sat across a table with a cup of wine and a plate on it. The two would play rock paper scissors first and the winner should grab the wine and pour it at the loser's face. The loser needed to grab the plate and block the wine with it. Is this game appropriate? Fang Jingqi only knew Han Sen was good at red hands but wasn't sure if he'd be good at this game. Well, you three play. I'll take Yan to the gym. Ku Wanj was afraid that this would be a bad influence on the little girl and led her away. With the ladies gone, Tang felt more at ease and challenged Han Sen, we are all men here so don't be afraid of losing face. Do you dare to play or not? Of course, but a game's no fun without a bet, Han Sen said. Hearing Han Sen's reply, Fang Jingqi was thrilled. He thought to himself, it seems Han Sen is confident. Tang, you are going to make a fool of yourself. I will record how miserable you are and show it to you if you dare to brag about yourself again. Tang rejoiced over Han Sen's reply as well. He thought, fortunately this kid does not know who I am, or he wouldn't even dare to play with me, let alone to suggest a bet. What's the stake? Tang Junliu pretended to be reserved. 100,000 per round. Han Sen was just concerned about the money to pay for Yan's nutrition solutions and physician, more than 1 million per month was simply beyond an average household's means. He didn't even have the number for the first month in his account and had to sell mutant creature meat back in God's sanctuary to come up with it. But all he had left was mutant black stingers, and he didn't really want to sell more after the 30 he sold to Chinzan. If the same creature appeared too often, its value would drop and people might think it was easy to hunt that creature. So, Han Sen did not intend to sell mutant black stingers anymore unless he had to. Good, I really like playing with a straightforward guy like you. 100,000 per round it is. Tang was overjoyed inwardly. He was just thinking it wouldn't be satisfactory enough just to pour wine on Han Sen's face, and it chanced that the kid had offered money as well. You will have to wait 10,000 years before you could win money from me. I am the king of rock paper scissors and I can win 9 of 10 rounds. I will wait to see you cry. Tang wanted to give Han Sen a banner for being a great citizen. He was just so nice to offer Tang both his face and wallet. The three soon decided on the rules. To win rock paper scissors didn't count as winning the round, a winner must also successfully pour the wine on the opponent's face. You guys can start. I'm terrible at rock paper scissors, so I'll first observe. When they were deciding which two were to play first, Fang threw his hands up. He had no intention to play and just wanted to record the game. Alright, you can play when we get tired. Tang was pleased by Fang Jingqi's quitting as it gave him more time to kick Han Sen's ass. Tang laid the plate and a glass of wine on the table. The glass was an ordinary one and could hold about 5 ounces of wine. Shall we use water instead? Proposed Han Sen. He was afraid that Tang would be soaked in wine and it wouldn't be safe if Tang caught on fire. Water is boring. Wine it is. Tang wouldn't miss an opportunity to humiliate Han Sen more. Han Sen did not speak. Tang Junliu said to Fang Jingqi, Fang, you call it so that it is fair. I am afraid someone may challenge the result otherwise. Okay. Fang Jingqi agreed, stood between the two, cleared his throat and called, rock, paper, scissors. When Fang Jingqi said, scissors, Han Sen and Tang Junliu almost reached out their hand at the same time. Han Sen used scissors, while Tang used rock. Excited that he had won, Tang grabbed the glass of wine and poured it at Han Sen. Unfortunately, Han Sen had put up the plate with some panic and blocked the wine. Could Han Sen actually be bad at this game? Fang Jingqi hesitated as he did not expect Han Sen to lose. Looking at Han Sen's smiling eyes, Fang could not help but wince. No, Han Sen is ruthless. He is just trying to get more from Tang. Having understood what was going on, Fang Jingqi grinned and thought, Tang, you are doomed tonight. I will try to record everything. Han Sen was of course setting Tang up, since he had asked for it himself anyway. And Tang was rich enough as well. Others might not be able to come up with the stake, but since Tang could earn more than 10 million with one performance match, he probably would feel nothing from losing a few million. The game itself was a test of reflexes and timing. Both rock paper scissors and fetching the object one should choose was highly demanding for one's reflexes. The one who could respond fast had a great advantage in the game. However, what was more important was the ability to predict the opponent's next move, which was the essence of rock paper scissors. Super God Gene. Chapter 79. Han Sen was no master at rock paper scissors, but he had made an effort to improve his ability to make more accurate predictions. It wasn't for games, but for knowing in advance a creature's habits and movements. For an archer, it was undoubtedly a very important ability. Almost anyone could shoot at a target. And there were numerous people who could hit the bullseye from 150 feet away. However, creatures wouldn't stand still all the time, so it was important to be able to predict their movements. To grasp the fleeting opportunity, prejudge the enemy's action, and shoot to kill were Han Sen's specialties. Or he wouldn't have chosen archery to practice. When he first entered God's sanctuary, he didn't have a nice bow and arrows, so he practiced sneak attacks, which had even higher demands for one's prejudgment and reflexes. A little mistake would leave him unable to kill a creature with one blow, which would result in the most terrible counterattack. After his first month in God's sanctuary, Han Sen never missed in a single attack, which proved his outstanding skills of prejudgment and timing. Now with so many Geno points gained, Han Sen had improved greatly in his reflexes as well. It would be difficult for one to win against him in a game like this one. Rock paper scissors. The moment when Fang Jingqi said, scissors, Han Sen and Fang Jingqi reached their hands out again. Han Sen had struck with scissors, while Fang went with paper. Tang didn't expect to lose, and when it hit him that he should grab the plate, his face was covered in wine and some even got into his nostrils, leaving a burning sensation. Tang lost a point. Fang Jingqi wrote it down on a notepad seriously. Tang of course didn't take the loss well. After wiping his face with a towel, he stared at Han Sen and said, again. Han Sen was certainly happy to oblige. The two were at it again. Claiming to be the king of rock paper scissors, Tang won less than 40% of the rounds, in which Han Sen was able to block the wine he poured every single time. In the rounds where Tang lost rock paper scissors, Han Sen was faster than him and got him every time, leaving Tang soaked in wine. In the beginning, Tang would wipe it away, but later he was so focused on beating his opponent that he would just let it be. No, let's play finger guessing instead. It's easy to cheat in rock paper scissors, Tang Junliu could not help but yell after losing 7, and then 8, rounds in a row. Okay, but please tell me the rules, as I've never played finger guessing before, Han Sen said. The rules are simple, Tang explained the rules. Finger guessing was the same type of game as rock paper scissors, but in finger guessing, the two players' hands had to be placed in front of their body at all times, so the other party could see more clearly and there was less a chance of cheating and changing one's mind. Han Sen had not played this one before, so he lost the first 4 rounds of finger guessing, but Tang wasn't really cheered by this fact as he was still unable to get any wine on Han Sen's face. After 4 rounds, Han Sen had mastered the essence of finger guessing and his excellent skills in prejudgment and quick reflexes gave him the upper hand again. Wine constantly hit Tang's face, which made him even more eager to win. In a while, he was so wet that it was as if he had just climbed out of a wine bucket. Even his trousers were dripping with wine. Tang thought to himself, how could this be? I should be invincible. Something must be wrong. Fang Jingqi saw that Tang was miserable and tried to stop him twice. But Tang was completely amuck, and all he wanted was to get his money back. I need revenge. I have to soak him in wine as well. No, I will definitely win the next rounds. 1 win, I need 1 win at least. Let me have 1 win. Just 1 and then I'll stop. Tang's expectation shrunk lower and lower, but he didn't win a single round in the end. In the last few rounds, Tang was a mess and couldn't even win finger guessing anymore, so Han Sen was in complete control. Ku Wanj saw it was late and took Yan back to the private room. She thought Han Sen was probably miserable now, playing drinking games with Tang Junliu and Fang Jingqi. When she approached the room, she couldn't hear anything, so she was wondering if Han Sen was already dead drunk by then. Pushing the door open, she was surprised. Han Sen and Fang Jingqi were sitting at the table, drinking tea while chatting. Han Sen looked sober and clean, as if nothing had happened. However, Tang was sitting on the sofa alone, soaking wet and haggard. Ku Wanj thought Tang looked almost like an assault victim, with his eyes full of tears. Tang, what happened to you? Ku Wanj was shocked. By no means could she believe that Tang Junliu was the one getting bullied. Tang just understood what had happened. Without answering her, he fiercely threw himself at Fang Jingqi, shouting, "Damn you Jingqi, how dare you set me up?" Not quite sure what was going on, Ku Wanj saw Han Sen smiling at her. He asked, "Ms. Ku, what's the price of the advanced nutrition solution packages?" Now Yan is on the package that's $100,000 per month, the effect of which is very limited. The course intensity at St. Paul would probably call for the package costing $300,000 per month. Or her grades and fitness would both suffer, Ku Wanj explained. If she were to use the top package, plus senior physician service, how much would that cost annually? Han Sen asked again. If that's the case, you can choose the school's S-level package, which includes the best of everything and costs 15 million per year. Ku Wanj regarded Han Sen curiously. Great, please get Yan the S-level package when you get a chance, said Han Sen after he saw the newly transferred $16.7 million in his account. Super God Gene, Chapter 80. After returning home, Han Sen showed Yan the tutorial of Holy Angel and asked her to memorize it. With the holographic demonstration, it was not difficult to learn. Being intelligent, Yan memorized Holy Angel after watching just a few times. On the next day, the Geno solution compatible with Holy Angel was delivered to their home by the staff of St. Hall. Han Sen asked Yan to drink it in accordance with the instructions. Because practicing hyper-Geno arts could generate a burden on one's body and each hyper-Geno art had different effects, most hyper-Geno arts would have to be practiced along with the using of its correspondent Geno solution. An S-class hyper-Geno art usually came with 3 bottles of Geno solution, so it could be practiced by up to 3 persons. If the matching Geno solution was not used, St. Hall would be exempt from any obligations and medical bills if there was an accident during the practice. Before this, Han Sen did not know how advanced hyper-Geno arts worked, so he felt lucky that he had successfully practiced Jideskin. Yan, this hyper-Geno art is the secret of our family. Do not let others know about it, okay? Han Sen did not even tell Yan the name, Holy Angel. Han Yan nodded seriously. Yan will not tell anyone that I practiced a hyper-Geno art my brother gave me. Good girl. If you encounter some danger and someone asks you which hyper-Geno art you are practicing, tell him you do not know and it's taught to you by your brother, Han Sen said. Yan understands, Han Yan said solemnly. Excellent. Han Sen patted Han Yan's head, feeling pity for his sister. Children who grew up in poor families were better prepared to deal with problems. Han Sen had spent some carefree years when he was a child. When Han Yan was born, however, their family had been declining, so she had never lived a good life. For this, she was more mature than her peers. Luo Sulan was in Second God's Sanctuary these days and just returned home on the 4th day since Han Sen came back. Han Sen also showed Luo Sulan Holy Angel, which shocked her. Although she didn't know too much about hyper-geno arts, she could tell that this was no ordinary stuff as the tutorial was very carefully arranged. Sen, where did this hyper-geno art come from? Asked Luo Sulan, worried. Mom, don't worry, I bought this, Han Sen said. How is possible that you have this kind of money? She asked again. Mom, I am much stronger than before and have joined a military gang in steel armor shelter. This hyper-geno art is just a start. We will live better in the future. Han Sen explained how he joined Qin Zan's steel armor gang, reassuring his mother. Son, you have gone far. Luo Sulan's eyes were wet from happiness. She had endured so many hardships to see this day. Mom, don't get emotional. It's a good thing. Han Sen had more than $1 million left in his account after paying for the S-level package for Yan. He gave it to his mother and said, this is what I earned in God's Sanctuary recently. Mom, you can use it to pay for the daily expenses. You take it yourself. You need the money. Luo Sulan refused to take it. It's fine. I am now with a military organization and my boss is generous. There will be more in the future. Hansen was trying to prepare Luo Sulan for more good news. Sen, keep in mind that you shall never be aggressive. Don't get involved in any trouble. Luo Sulan said earnestly. Mom, I understand. You know your son. I have always been low-key, Han Sen quickly said. Good, good. As for the hyper-geno art, you've got Yan started, right? Tell her never to show it off, in case people would be envious. Since father's accident, Han Sen's mother had changed a lot and was constantly afraid that her children would be in danger. Mom, do not worry. I have told Yan and she promised me she would never tell. No, I have to personally tell her again. Luo Sulan got up and went to find Yan. Watching Luo Sulan leaving, Han Sen felt very upset. If it were not for Dad's accident, Luo Sulan wouldn't have become so cautious and live in panic all day long. What happened? Han Sen regretted that he was so young and didn't understand anything. All he knew was that Dad had an accident. He had asked Mom and Mr. Zhang, but they were both hesitant to say anything. Han Sen knew it was not just an accident. In the station master's office at the teleport station, Yang Manly placed a capsule in front of Qin Zan. Station master, you are sure you want to use this? Yang Manly looked at Qin Zan who had picked up the capsule. I have to know why he is not willing to go to Blackhawk, and whether he wants to join my squad, Qin Zan said. There are so many guys like him, cowardly, greedy and lecherous. There is no need to win him over. I think we should make every effort to get Dollar on our side instead, who can become the best archer possible, Yang Manly said. Qin Zan just smiled. Dollar is of course amazing, but a man like him would not give us any chance to control him. Han Sen is still very talented, and I think he can do well. But the person I need must have a clean slate and be willing to join my squad, which takes me some effort to confirm. Yang Manly wanted to say more but Qin Zan stopped her. Unless you can get Dollar to join our squad, Han Sen is my choice. Yang Manly did not reply, but was secretly determined to find Dollar and persuade him. Han Sen did not know what Qin Zan saw in him that she wanted him to join her squad so bad. Before he entered the teleport station, he made sure that he wasn't in Qin Zan's sight. Unfortunately, nothing could go unnoticed under her nose. Looking at Qin Zan standing in front of him with a faint smile on her face, Han Sen had to step forward. It's been a long time since we fought. Show me your progress. Noticing Qin Zan did not mention other matters, Han Sen was secretly relieved. Han Sen was now much better, but he did not dare to show her all he got. Even if he did, she would probably still beat him. Drink some water. Qin Zan took off her helmet and fetched 2 bottles of water. She unscrewed a bottle for herself and handed another to Han Sen. Han Sen had no suspicion and drank from the sealed bottle of water. Han Sen, do you think I'm pretty? Qin Zan suddenly asked. Pretty, of course you are. Han Sen was surprised and looked up at her, not understanding why she was asking this question. It was not her style. Do you think my lips are prettier or my eyes? Qin Zan asked again. Han Sen felt dizzy. He could not help but look to the mouth of Chinzan, and gradually his sight moved up and fell on her bright eyes.